Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Last week we saw how Atma cannot exist in the Atma. From Atma's point of view, there is no ignorance whatsoever. From Sun's point of view, there is no darkness whatsoever. There is no darkness and there is no light also. So duality is not there. Duality is the expression of ignorance. From water's point of view, there is no wave. From gold's point of view, there is no ornament. Similarly, in Atma, ignorance cannot exist. But there is a popular argument that, oh, before coming to know the Atma, there was ignorance. Because we say Atma is beginningless, ignorance is also beginningless. But when you come to know the Atma, ignorance becomes zero, it becomes invalid, and only Atma remains. So, fact, before we began the enquiry into Atma, ignorance was there. I was ignorant of the self, of my true self, of the spirit. So, therefore, ignorance is because it was existing before I came to know the Atma. This is a very classic when we are looking example of when we are searching objectively. Now this is what is answered in the next few OVs. In the 35th OV, Atme nasi virodhi Manoni nureci iye sambandhi vegale tari siddhi zai chana. Because the ignorance is opposed to self, Atma, it cannot stay in Atma nor can it exist independent of it. If we say, when we are inquiring, we say Panchakoshas are because of the self, past, present, future are because of the self, waking, dream, deep sleep is because of the self. This is this is the way the Vedanta begins unfolding. So, if all these things which are because of self and all these varieties are expressions of ignorance, if we say because of the self, mind is functioning, because of the sense, the senses are functioning, body is functioning, world is functioning, space, time and objectivity is functioning because of the Atma or in the presence of the Atma, therefore ignorance is, because all these are expressions of ignorance. This is being refuted here, that this is our problem, yours and mine. And what is that? Not only yours and mine, every human being. And what is that? We have superimposed the quality of Atma, the attributes of Atma on the body, breath, mind, intellect. And we have accepted that we are this body, we are this mind, we are this intellect, we are these senses, I was born, I will one day die, and so on and so forth. And based on this identification, we are moving in this world, creating and breaking relationships, uh, thinking that we are ignorant and now we need to seek the truth. And this way it is going on. But what is the nature of Atma? It is continuous, it is all knowing, it's always existing. What is the nature of the world, which includes your body, breath, mind, intellect? What is the nature of the world? It's continuously changing, it's only appearing, it has got no knowledge of its own because it is inert. How can something which is conscious and something which is inert, totally 180 degrees opposite nature, how can two things of opposite nature come to unite? Not possible. Yet, this union is seen in this body. I am the spirit, I am consciousness, and I am the body. This entanglement which we have found ourselves in, we are trying to undo. Just like you take a rumal, you take a handkerchief, or you take a rope and you make a knot. Not a knot which goes like this, no. Just take one side and you pass it through, and when you pull the two ends, it opens up. So, where is our attention? Our attention is on the knot. Is our attention on the material out of which the knot is made? What is the material? Rope. That rope itself has twisted, entangled in itself, and created a knot. And your attention goes on some specific form. So that rope has got now a specific form called knot. And we are trying to undo the knot. See? But we don't realize that the knot is also nothing but the rope alone. Similarly, this knot of duality, where we have created spirit versus matter, this is only by the mind. There is nothing called spirit versus matter. There is only one, and that is the infinite spirit. There is nothing but the infinite waters. Water entangled with water is called a wave. Exactly the same way. Here it is told that there are two thoughts in this OV. One, ignorance is opposed to Atma, which is of the nature of knowledge. So Atma is of the nature of knowledge, ignorance is opposite. No knowledge. Why? Because it does not exist. Therefore, there can be no relationship of mutual existence as the support and the supported. So to say this, Atma is supporting the ignorance, Atma is supporting the Maya, Brahman is supporting the Maya. Initial stages we do say that, but when we come to this PhD of Jnaneshwar Maharaj, or when we go into Upanishads, then Maya has got no place. Ignorance has got no place to exist, because from the self point of view, Atma point of view, there is only Atma. Then what do they talk about Ishwar and Prakriti, Ishwar and Maya? Yes, they call, but what is Ishwar and Maya? Where is the duality come from? So we imagine. Nobody has told us. It has been revealed to the sages. So because we are trying to go back to our souls, in that source, we create a story for ourselves. What is the story? The one became the two, as if the one reality As if, very important word, as if became the two. What is the first two? Shiva Shakti. Then thereafter what happened? That Shakti became Trigunatmika, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Then what happened? Then the Hiranyagarbha was created. And from the Hiranyagarbha, the Virat Purush came. Into the Virat Purush, the Ishvara entered. This is the way it is explained. Because it is explained like this, we have forgotten what was the first word. First word was how it all began. One as if became two. So when you bring your attention, we are interested in the story, not in the as if. As if means only imagination. Actually, nothing like that happened. So here, so there is no question of Atma and ignorance having a mutual relationship, living in coexistence. It's not possible. It's not possible only. For this, you have to contemplate a little bit. It will not, it sounds, oh my God, so there is nothing. I'm not the body. I don't have family. I don't have children. I'm not in this world. Then who am I? Yes, that's the question we want to answer. And we don't have to even answer because you are already the answer to that question. You are the answer. But you have never inquired about the true you. And therefore, you are in the loop. Second point, no, so ignorance and Atma cannot exist mutually because ignorance, the nature of ignorance is opposed to the nature of Atma. Second point, nor is it possible for ignorance to exist independent of the Atma. Ignorance cannot, so from our point of view, can darkness exist without the sun? Only absence of light is equal to darkness. But darkness as such has got no existence. So ignorance, nor is it possible for ignorance to exist independent of Atma, or for that matter of anything else, because it is an absence. So now there is a problem here. What is the problem? Neither ignorance can exist in the Atma or coexist with Atma. This was the first point. And second, nor can this ignorance exist independent of the Atma. Because if ignorance is existing independent of the Atma, then there will be two existences. One is Atmic existence called Atma, the other will be existence called ignorance. And the nature of ignorance is nothingness, absence, appearance, no knowledge. And the nature of Atma is completely opposite. So, oh my God, so now there are two. One Atma which is conscious and the other which is ignorance, which is unconscious. Both are existing. It is not possible. From Earth's point of view, it seems day is existing, night is existing. Both are complementing. Both are coexisting. Don't consider the day to be the Atma. Day is also temporary. But sun is permanent, constant, as an example. In the scheme of creation, that also will go away one day, but here for example's sake. So similarly, the ignorance, nor is it possible for ignorance to exist independent of the Atma, or for that matter of anything else, because it is an absence. Ignorance is an absence. Absence of knowledge. When we say absence of knowledge, knowledge does not mean thought knowledge. Two types of, I'll put it into three ways. One is thought knowledge, second is nothingness, absence. Because we are using the word absence and nothing, does it mean something like that exists? No. And the third thing is Atma, which is of the nature of knowledge. Therefore, how can it be said that ignorance exists? So now, take this ignorance, where do you feel, or even you use these words, that's why I'm using it. You experience ignorance. Where? In the world, in the body, in the breath, or in the mind? I don't know. Where is this happening? This is happening in our mind, isn't it? And what is mind? Duality, aham and idam. So aham and idam, if you put it in this context, number A, aham and idam cannot exist in Atma. Aham, that is, in other words, I'll use another word for aham and idam, mind. Mind cannot exist in Atma because the nature of the mind and the nature of the Atma is diametrically opposite. So there is no mutual existence of Atma and the mind. You are experiencing it, that is a different matter. But those who are realized, those who have come to know themselves, those who are Jivan Muktas, this speech is his, Jnaneshwar Maharaj. So mind, because of its diametrically opposite nature to Atma, cannot, which is of the nature of ignorance, because change is ignorance, cannot exist in the Atma, cannot mutually exist with the Atma. And second point, that mind cannot exist independent of the Atma. This is the conundrum now. It cannot exist in the Atma and it cannot exist without the Atma. What? Like mirage. Mirage cannot exist in the earth. But mirage cannot exist without the earth also. Have you ever seen a mirage in the sky? No. You always see mirage on the earth only. Can you see an ornament outside the gold? From gold's point of view, there is no ornament. So there is no ornament in the gold, we can say. Second point, ornament cannot exist without the gold. See? So these are the 2 points which you can take these examples, you can take your mind and the self that you are, And therefore come to the conclusion, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, how can they, how can ignorance exist when it is not found in the self, nor can it exist without the self, which means it's not there only. लवणाची मासोळी जरी होय जीवाळी तरी जळी ना वेगळी न जिये जेवी. If the fish made of salt becomes alive, it can neither stay in the water nor separate from it. Example is taken, excuse me. If a fish made of salt were to be infused with life, a fish made of salt were to be infused with life by some magic, where will that fish live? It cannot live in the water. It cannot live in the water because the fish is made up of salt. If you leave it in the water, what will happen to it? It will melt and merge in the infinite waters. Salt cannot remain crystallized in water. It will melt away and lose its existence. Nor can it exist outside water, being a fish. And because it's a fish, it requires water. If you take out the salt fish, not salt water fish, a fish made out of salt, if you take it out of the water, still it will not last. Why? Fish requires the water. This is our story. Our meaning, our mind's story. Neither can it live in the Atma, nor can it exist without Atma. And this is what brings about the crisis. Kabhi kabhi in many relationships you see, it's a love-hate relationship. Neither can they live together, nor can they live apart from each other, isn't it? होता है ना कभी कभी कहीं, many houses you must have seen. In such houses there is continuous kalaha, means Kalyuga is permanently staying in that house. Kalaha means argument. Kalaha means tu मैं. That is the condition of ignorance. It can neither exist in the Atman, nor can it exist independent of it. Then what is the reality? Question is then, if ignorance cannot, meaning the mind cannot live in the Atman, nor can it live independent of Atman, then what is the reality? The teacher says here, you are the reality. And what have you taken the reality to be? The mind is the reality. You have taken the ignorance as the reality and you are living your life. It is this ignorant personality for whom past, present, future. It is this ignorant personality for whom all the relationships and survival and possession. It is for this ignorant personality for whom I am bound, I want to be free, I want to escape, I want to realize. All this is for the ignorant personality. Then what is the reality? You are the reality. Not knowing this, one keeps searching for something, wanting to protect something. And this is what life is. We are searching but not know what we are searching for. And where are we searching? Out there in the world. Then what you need to do? Change the direction of the search. This is the first step. Instead of searching out there in the world, search for whatever it is. Whether it is happiness, whether it is contentment, whether it is joy, whether it is peace, tranquility. Search, don't search it outside. I'll get the peace, joy, tranquility from building a house, from producing a child, from doing my seva towards my children and husband and wife. Duty, duty, duty. If realization is your goal, then all this, we must continue doing it, but find a way how to unclick from it. Unclicking does not mean not doing the duty. Not doing does not mean not doing what is required to be done. Unclicking means, in spite of it, you remain abiding in yourself. Allow the mind to do whatever it is programmed to do. Not knowing this, one keeps searching for something, wanting to protect something. This self is not other than I, Ananyam. The substratum is the reality, not the supported. See, how is mind changing? How mind is the supported? Mind cannot exist without the self, the Atma. What are the different expressions of mind? Waking, dream, and sleep. These experiences are coming and going every day. Are you coming and going? You know that these three have come and gone every day. If you know these three have come and gone every day, then the knower has to be other than the known. So you have not come and gone. The mind has come and gone. Let it do what it wants, whatever it is programmed to do. You be free. You contemplate on, you be yourself. Don't think that you are lacking something. Come to this realization that you are complete, and all this has to happen without a thought. You use the thought to come to a thought-free state. And once you come to thought-free state, whether the mind thinks or doesn't think, you are not affected anymore. Those who are established in this knowledge, every moment, in every situation, in every place, upasate, realize this as the culmination of that knowledge, namely that this aham tattva, this pure I, is the support of yoga, all that is gained and all that is to be protected, kshema, both because I am alive. It is this I who is creating association with that, the idam. Find out, is I a thought or is I in spite of the thought I? For that little bit awareness is required. Grace is required. By whom? You have to grace yourself. Atma is of the nature of grace. Then why is it not happening? Because you are addicted to thinking. Mind is addicted to thinking or not thinking. When it reaches non-thinking, you go to sleep. Remain aware, remain awake. You will find there is nothing called sleep. Just like for last 5 seconds, I did not speak anything. And I am awake. There was no thought in the mind. 5-7 seconds of gap. What is it like? You are not seeing, you are not touching, eyes are open. Their eyes are seeing, but there is no one behind to say, I am seeing. Seeing is happening, but the seer is not there. Hearing is happening, but the hearer is not there. The substratum is the reality, not the supported. Supported is always changing. And you are not the changing principle, you are the constant principle. Those who are established in this knowledge, what is that knowledge? That I am the constant, that I am beyond the mind, that I am beyond the duality of aham and idam. How is that aham idam expressing? As waker and waking world, dreamer and dream world, and absence of the two. Three expressions. And who are you other than all these three? Those who are established in this knowledge every moment, in every situation. Now, where is the moment? In the mind. Where is the situation? In the mind. Where is every object? In the mind. Where is every place? In the mind. When you be the constant principle in spite of life happening, life is in the mind. So, in spite of life happening, in spite of mind functioning, you are ever aware of the conscious principle. That's it. Story over. Realize this as the culmination of that knowledge, namely that Aham Tattva, the pure I, is the support of that this pure I. Pure I means what again? I without a thought. This pure I that I am is the support of all yoga. Yoga means everything that you want to gain. What is the ultimate gain? I want to realize that gain also. It is the support. Because where is this I want to realize desire? In the mind. I want to marry, I want to have kids, I want to have money, I want to have houses, I want to have health. Where is all this? In the mind. So when your attention is on these different things, then you are in the loop of individuality. When you remain the eternal witness, the I without a thought, then you don't succumb to all these things. They will happen because your mind has been programmed. They will still take place. But you are aloof. You are independent. You are swatantra. Because that is your nature. So that is yoga, that I, the true I that I am, is the support of everything that I have to gain in my life. Not in my life, that is the support of everything that has to be gained in life. And is the support of everything that is to be protected in life. What do we want to protect? That's why we take all the insurance, no? Health insurance, car insurance, home insurance. Why? Protection. What insurance I have? None. Think. This Atma, it doesn't require any insurance because it has never gone out of existence. That which is changing is equal to continuously going out of existence or coming into existence. So, this period between coming into existence and going out of existence, it wants to protect that expression. Do you have any insurance when you go to sleep? No. You are not even aware of your body, not even aware of your mind. But the moment you wake up, oh, health insurance, car insurance, house insurance, because in the waking, you have created all these identifications. Do you have any insurance in the dream? No. Anything to be protected in the dream? No. Why? You have you are realized that dream is only an imagination. Dream is only a figment of imagination. It is only a projection by the mind, in the mind, for the mind. Mind playing with itself is called dream. So therefore, you don't take out any insurance for the dream body, dream car. Then what is the need for taking out insurance for the waking car, waking body, waking house? Why? You have taken it to be real. Once you realize that Atma is the real, that I am the constant one, I am this, without me, the Atma, all that has to be gained cannot exist. All that needs to be protected cannot be protected. Because if I am not there, where is the question of gain and protection? And therefore, for such people, those who are not focusing on Atma but on God, he says, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyam. Those people who exclusively, ananya, upasate, the word here also comes upasate. Those who exclusively do my upasana, remember me, Ananyas chinta, you want to worry, we are used to worrying. You worry about me, don't worry about the world. Ananyas chintayanto mam, ye jana paryupasate. Those who contemplate on me, worry about me, that I want to merge into the Lord, I want to realize the Lord. Tesham nityabhiyuktanam. For such people, whatever is required by them, whatever they want to gain, I make it available. And whatever is to be protected, I protect it. This is the Lord's language. And Lord is not other than the Atma in our heart. Same language. Therefore, you see, Mahatmas are totally unconcerned, unafraid, fearless existence. And us, only living in fear. Therefore, we want insurance of relationship. Therefore, we want a marriage certificate to prove to the world that I am married. We need birth certificate. This is my child only, not anyone else's. We create relationships only to protect ourselves because we are afraid of being alone. But Atma is all alone without getting lonely. So, can we remain alone in spite of the relationships, in spite of the possessions, in spite of the experiences, in spite of the thoughts? Can we remain alone without creating relationship with anything of this sort? Don't create relationship with waking dream sleep world. Don't create relationship with past, present or future. Don't create relationship with time, space, objectivity. No, but how then what will happen? You will be with yourself. It will not happen. It may happen to some people suddenly, but you work towards this vision. This is what is told here. That this pure eye is the support of yoga, all that is gained and all that is to be protected, kshema, both because I am alive. For the ocean, the Shuddha Chaitanya, there is no going, no coming, no gain, no loss, no purpose, no effort, no goal to be reached. There is only the abundance and the joy of being. For the ocean, there is only joy of being. Then what are the waves? They are his joyful expressions. He is only pulsating with joy, whether there is a wave or no wave. Ocean does not, wave comes and goes, but ocean does not come and go. Whether the wave merges back into the ocean doesn't gain more volume. If a wave is created out of the ocean does not lose its volume. Ocean continues to be the same ocean. Now apply it to yourself. No gain, no loss. If a thought appears in the mind, there is no loss. If the thought merges back in its source, there is no gain. So whether we are waking, dreaming and sleeping, there is no gain, there is no loss. But what are we living as? We have invested everything only in the waking plane and become miserable in the waking plane. Therefore, we are seeking liberation in the waking plane. सिर्फ जागृत अवस्था को सच ले लिया है. जागृत अवस्था is only an अवस्था. It's only a happening. It's only a state. And no state is permanent. State comes and state goes. Jagrata avastha gives way to swapna avastha gives to nidra avastha, waking state to dream, dream to deep sleep. Who are you? The one who knows this. Then why do you become the waker, dreamer or sleeper? Stupid conclusion, isn't it? No purpose, no effort. When we take the world to be real, then I want to know what my purpose in this life is. And once you come to know or are trying to know, immediately efforts begin. Efforts are only in the Prakriti. Effort is only in the mind. In Atma, there is no effort. No goal to be reached. As long as you think you are this body, there is a goal to be reached. I want to travel, I want to achieve, I want to realize. But as Atma, when you recognize that you are the substratum, then there is no goal to be reached. There's nothing called liberation because I am that. I have never been not that. I have always been that. I am that and I will always be that. There is only the abundance and the joy of being. Similarly, Ajnana, ignorance, does not exist. Atma alone is the reality. And Atma cannot know itself because Atma cannot be the object of knowledge. Just like this example has come many times before. Just like the eyes cannot see themselves. But you know the eye is there. You have never seen it, but you know the eye vision is there. Similarly, the I, not this I, the I, capital I, it is always there. It cannot come to know itself because it is all knowing. Sun cannot illuminate itself. I want to see myself. My sunlight is going only outwards. I want the sunlight to go inwards and reveal. This is what we are trying. We want to know ourselves, self-realize. Where inside? Where inside? Oh, I'm not a body. I'm not a breath. I'm not a mind. I'm not the thoughts. I'm the reflected consciousness. Or reflected, kahan reflect ho raha hai, kahan? Where is it reflecting? Where is it reflecting? And start snoring. See? One master has said the most miserable search is the search for happiness. Most miserable. And Atma cannot know itself because Atma cannot be the object of knowledge. You cannot separate Atma from Atma and know it. This absence of knowledge in the Atma Tattva, this absence of knowledge, which knowledge? Thought knowledge. This absence of knowledge in the Atma Tattva is not ignorance, but it is because there is no otherness and therefore there is no need to know. Atma is all pervasive. There is nothing but Atma everywhere. Therefore, no duality. Therefore, no ignorance also. Therefore, no knowledge also. Why? It is already. Thought knowledge appears only where there is two. Duality. Atma is all. So no duality. So therefore no thought. So then what type of knowledge is this? This is knowledge without a thought. What is that called? That is called Chit. Consciousness. The all-knowing principle. When we say all-knowing principle, does not mean knowing the whole world. It knows itself without a thought. The absence of knowledge in the Atma Tattva is not ignorance, but it is because there is no otherness and therefore there is no need to know. This needlessness of knowledge called ignorance has an altogether different connotation than the ignorance which is of The nature of not knowing. This is udasinata, needlessness. Uparati, needlessness. Just like if I'm only imagining sitting here, that there is no need for you to be involved in eating or drinking or what is happening in the world, or uh, oh, what is your husband or wife doing, have they got up or not, are the children sleeping or not. There's no, you just feel unconcerned about it at this moment. Once the satsang over, you will become active again, thoughts will go there. But right now, you are listening to these words. These words for some people can be prompter. Ha yaar, I have not checked on my children yet. And immediately your thought will go there. You will put the volume on the speaker, you will cancel, and you will call out, hey, are you still awake, or is it not time? It's already 9:30. Come on, wake up. And when you get an answer, then you will put the sound again on the computer. Sometimes you'll get prompted, but you would have noticed that when this prompt comes, I say, yeah, theek hai yaar, everything is okay. I don't have to worry about it. You're not interested in that. You're not interested in the world. We are interested in what the satsang is talking about. And what is it talking about? That I am the substratum. You are interested in the satsang. Satsang with yourself. These words are just triggers. So, one type of ignorance is not knowing. I don't know what is behind me. I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if I can uh, uh, say sorry to the person whom I got angry with yesterday. I don't know. The other ignorance is who cares? I don't want to get involved. If I go and say something, again they will also say something, then I have to say something. It will go on and on. I don't want to get involved only. This is how Mahatmas live. They don't get involved in their mind. They remain aloof. The mind continues to function according to whatever the momentum is there, the vasanas are there. But like you and me who say, I have a mind, I am understanding, I am communicating, Mahatmas, they cut the cord. They don't care whether mind thinks or doesn't think. That's a healthy state. So, two types of ignorances. One is not knowing an object, and the other is not wanting to get involved in the object. When you don't want to get involved, your mind is silent. There's no need, desirelessness, needlessness, involvementlessness. Thinkinglessness. Then even one thought coming and erupting in the mind is a burden to carry. Just like when you are sleeping and your eyes are drooping and the sleep is pulling you from inside, and someone calls you, hey Swami, and you open your eyes little bit and your eyes are so heavy with sleep. Gone. You don't want to get involved. You have all experienced that, isn't it? So one is, I don't know who both is, I don't know who this person is, I don't know about their family, I don't know about their children. This is one type of ignorance. And the other type of ignorance is the needlessness, the desirelessness, the udasinata, non-involvement. And what is its nature? Also ignorance. Therefore, one should not give any value to the statement that ignorance is in the Atman. Now we have come to this conclusion. What is the conclusion? That we must not say that ignorance is because of Atman. We should not say ignorance is existing in the Atman. We should not say Atma and ignorance are coexisting. All these are wrong conclusions, wrong statements. Because if you just little bit look below the surface of your personality or look within at the spirit that you are, you will find that all these three statements are null and void. This being so, जय अज्ञान येथ नसे तरीच आत्मा आभासे म्हणोनी बोलाणी वायसे नायकावीच की. If there is no possibility of ignorance in the self alone is, and therefore to talk of it as being present in self or independent is meaningless. If ignorance, if the possibility of ignorance is not there in the self, then this language of what we use the language that the ignorance is not present in the self or or independent of the self, you are no point in saying all these things. The 3 points that I said. Neither ignorance can be in the self, nor can it be independent of the self, nor can it coexist with the self. Then why you are using so many words? Dependent or independent or coexisting. Don't use those words. It is meaningless to talk in all those words. Yes, we are also of the same opinion, but do you stop thinking? Anyway, here your topic is ignorance. Ignorance is never there. Atma alone is. Therefore, one should not waste time in thinking that Atma is the support of ignorance or that ignorance should be destroyed in order to know our own essential nature, etc. Exactly the same way. Apply it on yourself. What did I say? Ignorance was your mind. We don't have to destroy mind in order to come to know the Atma. When your attention is on destroying the mind, then you do the great tapasyas like Buddha Bhagavan did, only to realize you should live a balanced life. Wherever there is tapasya, there is big ego. So, therefore, one should not waste time thinking about that, thinking that Atma is the support of ignorance or that ignorance should be destroyed. Atma is not the support of ignorance. How the Atma is supporting the mind, how the Atma is supporting the body, how Atma is supporting the world, get out of it. Because very quickly you will forget the Atma and the world will catch you. Don't go in that direction. Remember the meditation, direction of the thought, quality of the thought, and the number of thoughts. Give attention to all these three. When you give attention to all these three, are they becoming more or are they becoming less? This is from a seeker's point of view, I'm saying. But in this topic of Amrutanubhava, we are not even looking at the quality of thought, the direction of the thought, and the what do you call the number of thoughts. Though all we are not looking at thoughts only. Then what are we looking at? We are not looking at anything. Then just be. Just be. So we don't have to destroy the thoughts to know ourselves. We don't have to destroy the mind to know ourselves. We don't have to destroy and discipline and control our body, breath, mind, intellect in order to know the self. Then the rule will become only when I watch the breath, then I come to know the self. Only when I go from many thoughts to one thought, then I come to know myself. No, you are self existing. Atma is self existing. Atma is not dependent on thoughts. Because you are using in your mind the word Atma, 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 therefore you are Atma. No, in spite of that, you are the Atma. Whether the mind talks about Atma or doesn't talk about Atma, you are continuously, unchangingly, you are the Atma. Recognize this about the truth that you are, the Atma that you are. The notion that because of ignorance we suffer has no meaning. We suffer because we are alive, because we are conscious. The moment we divert the attention from the plurality to the one reality, then all the problems cease. This is the rule. This is the formula. What is the formula? The more you give attention to the world, the more miserable you become. The more you withdraw from the world, the happier you become. In deep sleep, you are the happiest. In samadhi, you are the happiest. Is there a possibility to come to a point where mind is thinking or not thinking and you are continuously yourself? That will be the ultimate. No escaping, no meditating, no putting efforts. It does not mean that you should not. All these words which I are for last 1.5 hour, 1 hour we are talking, it is to be applied here and now. You are the self. The notion that because of ignorance we suffer. Oh, because I didn't know I got married. Oh, because I didn't know I became sannyasi. Oh, because I didn't know I overate. I didn't know that I had diabetes and I kept taking sugar. All this is stupid conclusions. So, because of this idea in our head that because of ignorance we suffer has no meaning. We suffer, what is the rule then? We suffer because we are alive. Wherever there is life, there is ups and downs, there is in and out, there is manifestation and unmanifestation. There is high and low. Automatically. It's not you who created it. The moment moon comes out, there is high tide or low tide. Is the moon doing anything? Nothing. But the water is affected. Why there is no high tide when it's only a first day of the moon? But is moon saying, hey, now I'm going to make the water suffer? No. So where there is mind, there is manifestation and unmanifestation. Where there is mind, there is no knowledge or little knowledge or little bit more knowledge or much more knowledge. Because we are alive. We suffer because we are alive. Because we are conscious. Because we are a living being. Therefore, life happens. Life is not a straight line. Straight line is only when you are dead. Life is not a straight line. Life is a continuous oscillation. Heartbeat goes like this, the breath goes like this, the thought goes like this. Manifestation, unmanifestation, manifestation, unmanifestation, manifestation, unmanifestation. Time is also going like this. The space is also going like this. Everything is like that in your life. And your life is your mind. We suffer because we are alive, because we are conscious. The moment we divert the attention from the plurality of the one reality, then all the problems cease. So when we divert our attention from the variety of the world, the variety of the thoughts, to the reality, to the I, who am I, all the problems, all the trials, tribulations, all the misery start dissolving by themselves. Start dissolving by themselves. So, statements like the world is created out of ignorance are meaningless, like saying that the wind creates the waves. The world is the manifestation of the pure consciousness that I am, like the waves are created by the inherent potentiality of this ocean to express as waves. For the pure self to express itself as many, there is neither cause nor effect. For the pure self to express as many, there is no cause, there is no effect. For the ocean, for the waters to express as waves and ocean, there is no cause, there is no effect, there is no reason. It's an expression of joy. How are we living our life? As an expression of joy, or continuously demanding attention, being miserable, wanting to escape from this life? Escapism is creating relationships. Escapism is becoming dependent. Escapism is searching for happiness. Escapism is going to Himalayas. Escapism is getting frustrated by the world and taking sannyas. That is escapism. So, what is our motivation to come to the satsang? Is it to escape the world? Or is it to realize that I am ever, ever, ever independent in spite of the world? World is not created out of ignorance. Here our attention is not on Prakriti. Our attention is on the Paramashiva. Paramashiva alone became Shiv Shakti. That Shakti became Trigunatmika. So when we speak that language, we say, oh, Prakriti became all the names and forms. But we forget that Shakti is nothing but the Paramashiva. So on one hand, initial stages, we say, I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. In Ishwaradvayavad, we are not here to delete this or that. We are here to see that mind is nothing but consciousness. The mind is nothing but made out of the material called the self. The thoughts appearing in the mind are nothing but made out of the material called the self. Self is playing with the self. Wave is nothing but water. Water playing with water is wave. What is that your disposition towards the world? That I am playing with myself? The world is the manifestation of the pure consciousness that I am, like the waves are created by the inherent potentiality of the ocean to express as waves. For the pure self to express itself as many, there is neither cause nor effect. There are waves in the river and there are waves in the ocean. What is the difference? The waves in the river are formed by the desire, the urge of the river to merge into the ocean. There is a destination, there is a goal. And the waves are coming about. But there are waves coming about in the ocean also. Where is the ocean trying to reach? River is wanting to reach the beloved, the ocean. Gangaji is going to meet Ganga Sagar at Sagar at Ganga Sagar. Where is Sagar going to go and meet? It is also having waves. Then what are the waves on the ocean? They are expressions of joy, which is born out of the recognition that I am ever complete, lacking in nothing, wanting nothing, desiring nothing. I'm complete. This sense of completeness is when we go beyond thought knowledge. Only to realize that not only the intellect, mind, thoughts, speech, actions, the various variety of the creation is nothing but that one reality, that I am. For the pure self to express itself as many, there is neither cause and effect, and this is not having, and therefore we use the word Paramashiva as if became two. That as if is used because there was no purpose of Paramashiva to become two. If it did not become two, still nothing would have been lost in Paramashiva. Because Paramashiva is ever the same. And we, on the other hand, we want spice, we want variety, we want this, we want that. But it is only when we come to that inner silence, this inner recognition, that we will realize that we are lacking in nothing. We are short of nothing. We don't have to achieve anything in order to be complete. See, in this manner, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is taking us through his experience of realization. The position of ignorance is explained. A few more examples. We'll look at these examples next time. अभी यहीं रुक जाते हैं. We'll stop here. Sit quietly for a few moments. Hari Om. Hari.